What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show. We discuss everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., daily news, everything you need to know about money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, stimulus check update, and daily news. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button right now. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you up to date here with everything you need to know about. And also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. Let's jump right in. There's a lot going on. The stock market made another stunning upward gain here today. Somewhat surprising. Most people would think that war would send the stock market plummeting. Actually, around the world, stock markets did plummet here yesterday around the world. Moscow's stock market actually dropped by 50% yesterday. Yes, so Russian stocks dropped by 50% yesterday. The U.S., as far as I know, was the only stock market to go up both days. Kind of a combination of buying the dip and also the stock market already being near 1-year lows. So the question, though, is that how long is this going to go on for? And what's going to happen here with Russia going forward? Also, you can see here the potential for softer Fed rate hikes. I'm not sure if that's going to happen because the Russia-Ukraine conflict could actually raise inflation even higher. And if inflation sends things higher, like gas, because Russia is the world's second largest producer of gas and natural gas and oil, and that's already kind of sent the price of oil and the price of gasoline already upwards on an upward trend near $100 a barrel. It actually hit $105 a barrel at one point. You can see the price of gas here over in California already at $5 per gallon of gas. That's absolutely just takes my breath away. Probably your breath away too if you're in California. That's quite a stark difference from what we pay in Ohio or what you probably pay in Texas. That's like 50% higher. That's whew. But as you can see here, Russia's invasion of Ukraine could make many things more expensive because, well, the price of gas and the price of oil actually makes the price of everything go up because pretty much everything has to be trucked in or shipped in. And the question is, how high is it going to go?
That's right, Shep. Soaring gas prices, one of the direct ways Americans are feeling the effect of Russia's invasion. Here in LA County, yet another record high. We're talking $5.09 a gallon. Just to put this into perspective, Shep, a year ago, the national average price of gas, $2.66. Today, $3.55 a gallon. That, according to AAA. That's an added cost for Americans at a time when inflation is soaring. Many telling us they're making contingency plans. Others saying they're going to cut back on travel.
Every time there's a long drive, I'm like, oh, like I'm just not going to drive there.
I have a truck, and it is horrific when I pull away and see how much I just spent for one tank of gas. I got to get an electric car. Something. This is ridiculous.
Some people I know that do like drive for like different delivery companies and stuff like that. They feel like they can't make as much money because they can't drive as much because the gas prices are higher.
Today, President Biden reiterated his intentions to protect Americans from higher gas prices.
And the United States will release additional barrels of oil as conditions warrant. I know this is hard and that Americans are already hurting. I will do everything in my power to limit the pain the American people are feeling at the gas pump. This is critical to me.
Late last year, President Biden did tap the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, authorizing the release of 50 million barrels in an effort to curb prices. Experts say if Biden does release more oil into the market, it would put a lid on prices, Shep, but it would only be a short-term fix. Back to you.
Seema Modi live in Los Angeles.
Meanwhile, Senator Bernie Sanders says that now is the time to help Americans and Congress needs to do more. Check this out.
Polls seem to show that more and more Americans are giving up on democracy. They work long hours for low wages. They worry about their kids. They can't afford health care. They see their jobs going to other countries. And meanwhile, the people on top are doing better than any time in American history, and they wonder, hey, we elect these guys to the House, to the Senate, governors. What are they doing for us? Do they understand? Do they live in the real world? Do they understand what is going on in our lives? Or are they too busy going out raising campaign contributions from the rich and the powerful? That the time is long, long, long overdue for the Congress to start addressing the needs of the American people. And I know it is a radical idea to suggest that maybe, just maybe, we should do what the American people want and not what wealthy campaign contributors want. And maybe, I know this is another radical idea. Piece in the paper today about the impact of climate change. Sea level is going to rise by a foot in the next few decades. We're looking at drought, floods, extreme weather disturbance. Here's a really radical idea, Madam President. Maybe at a time when the scientists tell us that it is questionable in terms of the kind of planet we're going to leave our kids and future generations, whether or not it is going to be habitable or livable. I know it's a radical idea. A lot of fossil fuel money coming into this place. But maybe, just maybe, we stand up to the fossil fuel industry and tell them their short-term profits are not more important than the future of this planet. So, Madam President, we have a lot of work to do. I'm not sure that we will do it. I'm not sure that members of Congress have the willingness or the courage to stand up to the powerful special interests who control the economic and political life of this country. But this I will say, if we do not do that, in terms of the economy, in terms of climate, in terms of health care, in terms of education, future generations will look back at this Congress and say, where were you?
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. The question is what are they going to be able to get done this year before the midterm elections? It's going to be a really big year because, well, the Democrats are in control of everything. The House, the Senate, the presidency, and the House and Senate and some governor races are up for re-election. And, Republicans think they're going to take back the House and Senate. The Democrats think they're going to retain the House and Senate. And, it's a really, really big year. We've got the pandemic still going on, possibly another, who knows what's going to happen with new variants. 63% of people are living behind or paycheck to paycheck and struggling to pay their bills here during this pandemic. It's still affecting us all. And now we have the whole Russia conflict, 7.5% inflation, possibly getting even higher because of the price of gas, the price of oil, and who knows what. I mean, we've had a couple updates here in the stock market. Remember that the average person now watching this, maybe not necessarily you, maybe you, it really depends, but over 50% of people have money in the stock market. Pensions, 401ks, IRAs, retirement funds. Over 50% of people do have money in the stock market, and that has been going down a lot lately. It's still at or near correction territory, which means down by at least 10%. So the whole Russia conflict has been affecting Americans already. And the question is it going to get a lot worse going forward? What's going to happen? They're saying that the country of Ukraine and the capital could fall here within days. Yeah, so the real big question here is that the Russians are already actually in the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv. You can see some footage here. Hundreds of thousands of people were trying to leave Kyiv, but you can see the traffic jams were just gridlock. And the other problem is that they have declared martial law and will not let any men ages 18 through 60 leave at all because of the martial law they have declared. So they're physically not able to leave. Just as a specific example, if you've ever watched Dancing with the Stars, one of the male dancers there, Maxim, is physically trapped in Ukraine. He cannot leave. And just one example there of somebody you may know, you may have seen on TV. Here's his picture. He cannot leave. He's physically trapped there and not allowed to leave the country. He says, quote, "There's always another way. War is never the answer," he wrote. "P.S. I will never be the same. This is stressful, and I'm getting old feelings back like I've done this before. This does feel like the way it was when why we left in the 90s. Everyone was hoping that the finality of this situation would be averted," he said, as sirens and emergency vehicles could be heard in the background. "That there's not going to be this kind of aggression, his kind of aggressive measure." He says, quote, "What I'm realizing is that my friends whose kids are here, whose moms, dads are here, and elderly people who are here, they just can't escape." Of course, this is just one example because the population of Ukraine in 2020 was 44 million people, probably a little bit higher right now. Well, as people are trying to flee the country, and many have right now. And a lot of Ukrainians live in the U.S. According to Google, there's approximately 355,000 Ukrainians that live in the USA right now. So again, our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody. Also, we have millions of Americans pushing for a fourth stimulus check to be released here by the government on a national basis from Congress here, as the money has already been approved, and they could use this money to help combat inflation and the pandemic that we're all still dealing with. And with inflation probably set to go even higher because of this Russian conflict and Ukrainian conflict and the price of oil, this Congress is going to have to step up, as Senator Bernie Sanders had to say there. Whether it's Republicans and Democrats coming together here, or Democrats passing something on their own through the reconciliation process, or whether it's going to be standalone bills, whether they do standalone bills on several different things, whether it's or executive orders through just doling out the $800 billion, or they also have considerations to pass new stimulus money as well. So it's a lot of different things here. They also standalone bills, or they could do the executive order to just dole out the $800 billion or even half the money as well. We have a lot of different things here on the plate here. We also have the child tax credits, which go out to about 60 million children, which have currently been paused or stopped for ended in December, January, and February. And the question is here now, are they going to be able to get those out for March? With February ending here in 3 days, remember it's a short month. Are they going to be able to get a payment out for March now? 60 million children get those payments, or used to get those payments. That's a lot of checks, right? And Congress is going to have to act quickly even to get the March payments out now. So that's a really, really big question here. And the other thing that's going to be coming up here is the student loan payment pause. That's going to be ending here on at the end of April. That's not too far away either. And that's for over 40 million people as well, are going to have to start paying on their student loans again. And that's a hefty sum for a lot of people. So there's a lot of different stimulus type things on the plate here coming up soon. And they got a lot of money to work with. Remember, this money has already been approved by Congress and doesn't even necessarily need to be voted on again. Okay, it's already been approved. Stimulus package 1, stimulus package 2, and stimulus package 3. Half underneath Trump and half underneath Biden. Okay, and it's already been, say, added to the debt and to the inflation. They can kind of use this as anti-inflationary measures to kind of help the people that are struggling right now. Or they can do standalone bills. They can do it with Republicans or just the Democrats alone, because kind of the way things ended up is that the Democrats can pass things through the reconciliation process. That's how the third stimulus check package was passed with the child tax credits. Remember, Joe Manchin and Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kirsten Sinema did sign on to pass the third stimulus check package and the child tax credits and the rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance. All that stuff did get passed with Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema and the $1,400 stimulus checks there. They did sign on for all that. I know it's hard to believe that Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema did sign on for that, but they did. I know it seems kind of crazy, but yes, they did sign on for that. And they signed on for the first and second stimulus checks along with the Republicans. I know it seems kind of forever ago, but yeah, Joe Manchin, Republicans, and everybody all signed on for. Well, the Republicans signed on for checks 1 and 2, and Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema signed on for 1, 2, and 3. So it seems like, yeah, they'll never go for any of this stuff, but they did. So the question is, what is going to happen here going forward for the next kind of round of this stuff? And we have a lot of different things here. We have student loan payments going to be, stopping on May 1st or the end of April, however you determine. April 30th would be the last day. And we have the child tax credit payments. We have millions of people calling for another stimulus checks. We have lots of states doing stimulus checks and stimulus programs. We have potential Social Security raises coming here, hopefully this year. We have a lot of different things. And I will keep you up to date here with everything, as well as, of course, everything going on here with our country, which right now is obviously the Russia conflict and the raising of the federal interest rates here as well, and the stock market just going crazy. So I'll keep you up to date here with everything. Make sure to click the subscribe button down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember those times and tune in at those times so you don't miss out on new videos. After subscribing, you can click the bell icon that's next to the subscribe button. After you subscribe, it shows up. You can click that to get reminders on your device when we go live so you don't miss out on new videos. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And here is my new video that we just did on new money potential coming for Social Security raises, SNAP benefits, and pandemic EBT benefits. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.